Welcome to our journey through the Scriptures, where we explore the divine typologies of higher heights in God. Friends, every one of us is on a journey with God, a journey of faith, a journey of discovery, and a journey of ascending to new levels of grace and favor. In every part of journeying with God, we must learn to ascend to manifest our purpose. Just as a seed must be buried in the ground to sprout and grow, so too must we be willing to embrace new heights, new challenges, and new perspectives to truly walk in the fullness of God's plan for our lives. Today we'll delve into the lives of Noah, Abraham, and Moses, three individuals who embody this very principle of ascending to higher heights in God. Their stories, though thousands of years old, hold timeless wisdom and inspiration for our lives today. We'll discover how their journeys of faith, obedience, and unwavering trust in God led them to experience His blessings in extraordinary ways. Let their stories ignite a fire within you, a longing to go higher, to reach further, and to experience the fullness of God's purpose for your life. Friends, let's turn our attention to Noah, a man who lived in a time much like our own, a time filled with wickedness and corruption. Yet, amidst the darkness, Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. You see, friends, even when the world around us seems to be falling apart, God is still working, still moving, still searching for those who will walk faithfully with Him.
Noah was instructed by God to build an ark, a vessel of salvation, a testament to his unwavering faith. Now, the ark wasn't just a physical structure, it was a symbol of God's protection, His provision, and His promise of a new beginning.
The Hebrew word for ark is tibah, a word rich in meaning. It signifies a container, a vessel, a place of safety and security. But did you know that tibah also has a numerical value of 407? Friends, numbers in the Bible often carry deep spiritual significance. And 407, the numerical equivalent of Tebah, reminds us that God's protection is complete, encompassing every area of our lives: our health, our finances, our relationships, our dreams.
He's not just interested in saving a part of us, He wants to save all of us. Now imagine the scene. The rain is pouring, the floods are rising, and the world as they knew it is being swept away. But Noah and his family are safe inside the ark, sheltered from the storm. That's what it means to be in the center of God's will, to be surrounded by His presence, even in the midst of chaos and uncertainty. Some might see being shut in as restrictive, limiting, but friends, God's shutting in is always a sign of divine progression. It's not about being trapped, it's about being protected, prepared, and positioned for something greater. Just as a seed must be buried in the darkness of the soil to germinate and grow, so too must we sometimes be hidden in the secret place of the Most High, to be shielded from the storms of life, and to blossom into the fullness of who God created us to be. And just as the rain eventually stopped and the floodwaters receded, revealing a new and vibrant earth, so too will God bring us through our seasons of testing. He'll usher us into a new season of growth, abundance, and fruitfulness. Noah's story teaches us that obedience to God, even when it doesn't make sense, leads to incredible blessings. It reminds us that even in the midst of the storm, God is with us, guiding us, protecting us, and preparing us for a future filled with hope and promise. Friends, are you ready to step into the ark of God's protection? Are you ready to trust Him completely, even when you don't understand the plan? Are you ready to embrace the storms of life as opportunities for growth and transformation? If so, then get ready to experience the higher heights, the greater depths, and the abundant life that God has in store for you. Now, let's journey with Abraham, the father of faith, a man who teaches us the power of unwavering trust and obedience to God's call. Abraham's story is a testament to the truth that when we surrender our will to God's will, when we lay down our desires at His feet, we open ourselves up to receive blessings beyond our wildest dreams.
God called Abraham to leave his homeland, his comfort zone, and embark on a journey to a land he had never seen. And without hesitation, without questioning, Abraham obeyed. Friends, that's faith in action. It's trusting God's guidance even when we don't have all the answers, even when the path ahead seems uncertain.
But Abraham's faith was tested in ways few of us can imagine. God asked him to sacrifice his son Isaac, the son of promise, the one through whom his legacy would continue. Can you imagine the turmoil in Abraham's heart, the weight of that request? Yet even in the face of unimaginable pain, Abraham chose to trust God. He chose to believe that God's ways are higher than our ways, that his thoughts are higher than our thoughts.
And in that moment of surrender, in that act of ultimate obedience, God intervened. He provided a ram to take Isaac's place, a symbol of his love, his mercy, and his faithfulness. Friends, God will never ask us to sacrifice something without giving us something far greater in return. He's not a God who takes, he's a God who gives abundantly.
But he does ask us to come to the altar with a heart of surrender, a willingness to lay down our own plans and embrace his perfect will. What are you holding on to today that God is asking you to surrender? What dream, what desire, what relationship is hindering you from experiencing the fullness of his blessings? It's not always easy to let go, but I promise you, friends, clinging to our own limited perspective will never compare to the boundless joy and fulfillment found in surrendering to God's perfect plan. Abraham's story reminds us that true faith requires sacrifice. It requires us to step outside of our comfort zones, to trust God even when it hurts, and to believe that he is always working for our good, even when we can't see it. And when we do, we unlock the floodgates of heaven, positioning ourselves to receive the blessings, the breakthroughs, and the miracles that God has in store for us. Finally, let's turn our attention to Moses, a man chosen by God for a mighty purpose, a man who teaches us the transformative power of answering God's call.
Moses' life is a testament to the truth that God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called.
You see, friends, God sees the potential in each of us, the potential that we may not even see in ourselves. He knows the plans he has for us, plans to prosper us, to give us hope and a future. But we have to be willing to say yes to his call, even when it seems too big, too scary, or too far outside our comfort zone.
Moses was tending his flock when God appeared to him in a burning bush. Can you imagine that? An ordinary day, an ordinary task, and suddenly, God shows up.
Friends, God is always speaking, always guiding, always revealing his plan. But are we listening? Are we paying attention to the whispers of his spirit, the nudges in our hearts, the divine appointments he orchestrates in our lives?
God gave Moses a divine mandate to deliver the Israelites from slavery in Egypt.
Now Moses was filled with doubt, with fear, with feelings of inadequacy. "Who am I," he asked, "that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?"
But God reassured him, saying, "I will be with you."
And friends, that's all the assurance we need. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to have it all figured out. We just have to be willing to say yes to God, trusting that he will equip us, empower us, and walk alongside us every step of the way.
Moses' story reminds us that God chooses the ordinary to do the extraordinary.
He takes what we see as weaknesses and transforms them into strengths. He takes our fears and insecurities and uses them to showcase his power and glory. What is God calling you to do today? What dream has he placed in your heart? What impossible situation is he asking you to face? Don't shrink back in fear or doubt. Step forward in faith, knowing that the same God who parted the Red Sea, the same God who brought water from a rock, the same God who empowered Moses to lead his people to freedom is the same God who is with you, guiding you, and empowering you to fulfill your God-given destiny. Thank you for joining us on this spiritual journey. Remember, ascending to higher heights in God requires faith, sacrifice, and a willingness to be led by his divine purpose. Just as Noah, Abraham, and Moses embraced their journeys with courage and unwavering trust, so too are we called to embrace the path God has set before us. It won't always be easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But remember, God is faithful. He will never leave us nor forsake us. He will provide the strength, the guidance, and the wisdom we need to overcome every obstacle and emerge victorious. Stay blessed and continue to seek higher grounds in your walk with God. Embrace the journey, trust the process, and watch in amazement as he unfolds his perfect plan for your life. For in him we live and move and have our being. Amen.